Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Thank you for joining me once again for one of these Magic the Gathering box openings. And depending on how things go, this could be happening afterwards. This could happen in the middle of everything there. We'll have to see. But the big thing is that I wanted to at least give this a test to see what happens to my cabbages. So this is a little bit of the Avatar Jumpstart there. I wanted to see what sort of, essentially, rares and mythics are going to show up there. I know how the Jumpstarts work. It gives you a sort of theme. It will give you colors based off of it there. And, you know, from there, they're going to have individual cards that aren't really showing up in the standard play boosters. We did see cards showing up with that Eternal symbol, the Air Glider, showing up for the collector boosters, but I wanted to see kind of what would happen with this because, I mean, there's a whole lot of different ones that you can get there. I do have some extras to potentially be able to play with friends there, but I wanted to see what sort of things I could get on my own in a singular box here as well. Each one is going to come with a bunch of lands. There's going to be a bunch of commons and uncommons in them there. We're probably not going to be spending too much time in each pack. I mean, there's a lot more in these than there are the collector boosters. We're mostly going to be looking at the rare, or in some case rares. Sometimes they come with 2 rares in each pack there. And sometimes they come with a mythic as well. And there are a couple that are good. In the last one there, we got a foil borderless Toph, like Earthbending Master or something. And turns out that's like the most expensive one within these packs. So it's just like, yeah, you know, that's great. Like we already got like one of the best ones that you could possibly get. Who knows, Boomy might be along in that same pack with her because he was like a $30 card as well. And it's just like, that's insane. So we're just going to take a quick peek at these here and just see kind of like what's going around, what we might be able to see in them there, because they are like that. A little bit of Kiyoshi here. They're all like super wrapped up, I guess maybe because they're such big packs or something. But what I'm thinking of doing actually is after I just quickly look through them, I'll probably just be putting them back in the packs instead of putting them off to the side, just because there's a lot of cards here. But I will be taking out any rares or whatnot there. A little Kiyoshi Battle Fan, 2 equipment artifact. When it enters, create a 1/1 white ally creature token, then attach this to them. It gets +1/+0, equip cost of 2, Raucous Audience, 1/2, 1 and a green, 2/1, Human Citizen, add green. If you control a creature with power 4, add double green instead. Not too shabby there. I mean, you can, you know, oh, this one is in the normal one, just like this Kiyoshi Battle Fan. Here we are. Elephant Mandrill, 2 and a green, 3/2, Elephant Monkey, reach. ETBs, each player creates a food at the beginning of combat on your turn. This creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each artifact your opponents control. Okay, so kind of more artifact hate there. Kiyoshi Warrior Exemplars have a little bit of Suki in the front there. 3 and a green, 4/3, Human Warrior Ally. When this creature attacks, if you control 8 or more lands, creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. I mean, if you're earthbending a lot of your lands as well, you know, those can also be getting a whole lot. And it's only when they attack, it's not just permanently there. And we're actually starting off with a mythic, kind of a yay. Avatar Kiyoshi Earthbender, 5 and triple green for a 6/6 legendary human avatar. During your turn, Avatar Kiyoshi has hexproof. At the beginning of combat on your turn, earthbend 8, then untap that land. Oh, so it's like, I mean, she's insanely expensive to play. 8 mana for her there. She's 6/6 and is hexproof only during your turn. Beginning of combat on your turn, you get to earthbend 8. You untap a land. So if you use it, you can untap it there. Kind of like, so it's like if you play her prior to combat, then you could do it there. You know, interesting there. You know, I'll certainly take, you know, a a mythic there. Tsuki Kiyoshi Warrior. We saw her in this exemplars there. 2 and double hybrid green white for a star 4 legendary human warrior ally. Suki's power is equal to the number of creatures you control. When Suki attacks, create a 1/1 white ally creature token that's tapped and attacking there. And I mean, if you've got these exemplars out on the field as well, and you've got enough lands, I mean, she could be more powerful. That ally could be more powerful there. Earth Kingdom Soldier, 4 in hybrid green white, 3/4 human soldier vigilance. And the ETBs put a +1/+1 on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. Rocky Rebuke, we saw this one in our packs there. Deals damage equal to a creature's power to target creature an opponent controls. Cycle of Renewal, we saw this one as well. Sacking a land, search your library for 2 basic lands that come into play tapped. Allies at Last, 2 and a green, instant affinity for allies, costs 1 less for each ally you control. Up to 2 target creatures you control, each deal damage equal to their power to target creature an opponent controls. Okay, so it's kind of like this Rocky Rebuke, except it's 2 creatures you control, but it also has affinity to allies, so you could potentially play it for less than this. So yeah, this is just a much better version of it. Tectonic Split, which we saw in the previous one as well, which I kind of imagined would be in this Kiyoshi one. There, getting another one I think is pretty great there. You sack half of your lands, but this thing has hexproof, and then all of your remaining lands tap for triple mana instead. They trap for 3 mana of any one color. So, I mean, most lands that you're going to play don't tap for double mana. I mean, if you've got something like the Urza lands, or if you've got something like Temple of False God, Muragana Raceway, Ancient Tomb, you know, anything like those that tap for double colorless already. I mean, now you can tap for triple without actually taking the damage there. So, I mean, it is an option there for you, but we'll certainly take that. Cracked Earth Technique, we saw this one. Double Earthbend 3, gain 3 life. Thriving Grove always helps out with, you know, most of these are going to have like a Thriving because it's going to be green, and then you can choose whatever other color that you have. Oh, we get a full art of the forest there. That's nice. And then some more of the forest there, all kind of this autumn leaf flavor there. So we did start off with double rares, one of them being a mythic that we didn't actually have. And we got another one that I think is going to be really good. So, I mean, I've got one for Windgrace, and I got one for, I think it was like World Shaper was the Edge of Eternity deck. Okay, got a little bit of adaptive. I see the Zuko being the blue spirit. Okay, Glider Kids, we saw this one here. Kiyoshi Battle Fan again. Rowdy Snowballers, we saw. Katara Bending Prodigy, 2 and a blue. 2/3 legendary human warrior ally. At beginning of your end step, if Katara is tapped, you put a +1/+1 counter on her. Waterbend 6, you draw a card there. So, I mean, you could waterbend her to get her more powerful. Princess Yue, the princess that Sokka fell in love with there. 2 and a blue. 3/2 legendary human noble ally. When Princess Yue dies, if she was a non-land creature, return this card to the battlefield tapped under your control. She's a land named Moon, and she gains tap, add a colorless. She's still legendary. You can tap to scry her there. So, I mean, even when she dies and she comes back as a land, you can still tap her to scry. You know, pretty interesting there. T.O. Spirited Glider. Here's that kid in the last one there that I thought might be paralyzed, maybe. 3 and a blue for a 1/4 legendary human pilot ally flying. Whenever one or more creatures you control with flying attack, draw a card, then discard a card. When you discard a non-land card this way, you put a +1/+1 on target creature you control. You know, kind of that same Momo flying tribal. Blue Spirit, what we were talking about there with the card. 3 and a blue, 2/4 legendary human rogue ally. You may cast the first creature spell you cast each turn as though it had flash. That can be nice. And it's each turn, so, I mean, you can do it on your opponent's turns as well. Whenever a non-token creature you control ETBs during combat, you draw a card. Okay, you know, like, drawing some extra cards, there's nice. Giant Koi, we saw this one as well. Waterbending and Island Cycling. Boomerang Basics, that's a nice additional one to get there. Frantic Search, another little extra artwork of this one here. 2 and a blue, instant, draw 2, then discard 2 and you untap 3 lands. Lost in the Spirit World, 2 and a blue sorcery. Return up to 1 target creature to its owner's hand. You create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token with this token can't block or be blocked by non-spirit creatures. Okay, just a little bit of pseudo removal there. Or you could bounce your own thing back for ETB triggers there. Waterbending Lesson, we got that one. Thriving Island for the blue. The Appa Island there. And we've got some Igloos for the Water Tribe there. Okay, so got a little bit of Kyoshi, got a little bit of Blue Spirit. Who's up next? We are going to be looking for Cabbage Merchant there, because I remember seeing him and he looked good, but also it's the Cabbage Merchant and you kind of want it. Hey Bye, we did see we did see both a black and white Hey Bye as well as the green one, but that had 5 colors in it in our normal packs there. So we'll see what happens through this. It says Strength through Sacrifice. It says white, but it could be white-black. Invasion Reinforcements, 1 and a white, 1/1, Human Warrior Ally Flash. When it ETBs, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. Pretending Poxbearers, see, the white and black, but it might be still white, but it could still be hybrid. Again, why it's like you can play this in any way, in standard, limited, whatever you want, but when as soon as it goes to commander, the hybrid mana becomes inaccessible. Pretending Poxbearers we saw, a lot to learn. See, like this has white. It's got a hybrid white-black. This has a hybrid green-white now. A lot to learn. 3/2, legendary human avatar ally. Has vigilance as long as there's a lesson in your graveyard. Whenever another creature you control dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on him. Another koala sheep there. Another absolutely adorable one. Vengeful villagers there. Being rowdy and trying to accuse Aang for, being Avatar Kyoshi, and stopping their conqueror, essentially. Maybe this is the one that had the punishment wheel. 3 and a white, 3/3, human citizen. Whenever this creature attacks, choose target creature and opponent controls, tap it, then you may sacrifice an artifact or creature. If you do, you put a stun counter on the chosen creature. Here's Hey Bye again there. Enters or attacks, you can sack another creature or artifact. If you do, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. When it leaves battlefield, you put those counters on another creature you control. Suki, Courageous Rescuer, we saw this one before as well. Other creatures get +1/+0. Another permanent you control leaves the battlefield during your turn. You can create a 1/1 white ally, only triggers once a turn there. Unfortunately, it's a third version that we've got of that. Rabaroo Troop, eating all of the cabbages. You can see the Cabbage Merchant in the background, so I guess we've already gotten Cabbage Merchant, but we're looking for the actual card there. 3 double white, 3/5, Rabbit Kangaroo. When a land you control ETBs, and this creature gains flying until end of turn, you gain 1 life, and it has Plane Cycling 2. Acrobatic Leap there, hanging out with the Blue Spirit. 1 white, instant, target creature gets +1/+3, gains flying until end of turn, untap it. Path to Redemption there. You got Iroh when he was being very power hungry, and then after his son passed, he became a lot more mellowed out, and he joins the White Lotus there, or founds the White Lotus. 1 and a white, enchantment aura, enchant creature, enchanted creature can't attack or block. 5 mana, sack this aura, exile enchanted creature, create a 1/1 white ally creature token, activate only during your turn. So, you can, if they've got something that's bothersome with an ability there that they could still use through this, you can exile it. That's rough, buddy. My first girlfriend turned into a moon. That's rough, buddy. I'm so glad that they made this a card there. 1 and a white, instant lesson. Put a +1/+1 on target creature. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on that creature instead. If a creature left the battlefield under your control this turn, draw a card. Nice. Salamandra Storm, 3 and a white, Instant, choose one, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater, or Earthbend 3. Okay. Thriving Heath for whites. Got an Appa over Bossing Say. And then we have a lot of Air Temple underneath this cliff ravine there. Interesting design choice there. I would have imagined that with how this works, it would probably fall apart there. You know, the gravity is pulling it down, so I'm not entirely sure how it's being maintained like that there, but, you know, fantasy logic. So, you know, fantasy logic, anything can be possible. All right, a little bit of Earth Kingdom, go wide with legendary allies. So not going to be Kyoshi, but, you know, it's looking like we might have some legendary creatures from the Earth Kingdom for this one. Starting off with Haru, Hidden Talent there. 1 and a green, 1/1, legendary human peasant ally. Whenever another ally you control ATBs, your Earthbend 1. Nice. Kyoshi Battle Fan, Toph the Blind Bandit, 2 and a green, star 3, legendary human warrior ally. Toph enters, you Earthbend 2. Toph's power is equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on lands you control. So it's not based off the number of lands, but the number of +1/+1s on them. Okay. Match the odds, 2 and a green, sorcery lesson, create a 1/1 white ally creature token, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature your opponents control. Okay. Suki Kyoshi Warrior, we got that one again. Foggy Swamp Vinebender, we saw that one in the normal packs. Descendant's Path, 2 and a green, enchantment. Beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card that shares a creature type with a creature you control, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you don't cast it, put it on the bottom of your library. Okay, so this works really good if you have a lot of creatures, or if you have like a lot of control over the top of your deck. Like if you've got a bunch of scrying there, then you could just be like, okay, you know, I look at the top cards. If it's a creature, you keep it on top, you cast it without paying its mana cost there. I mean, if it's something really expensive like Kyoshi, you know, who's a human avatar, there's a lot of humans there. You know, Aang and a lot of stuff are avatars, and there's other avatars there, so you could just be like, yep, you know, she gets put on there for free. That can be pretty intense there. You know, you gotta be careful. Like I said, you got to control the top of your library to really make this work there. But it can work. Earth Kingdom Soldier, Hippo Cows, Mechanical Glider, Stand United, 1 and a hybrid green-white. Instant, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn if it's an ally scry 2. I believe this is Sokka along with Suki there. Allies at Last, and another Thriving Grove, Appa Forest, and a bunch of the autumnal leaves. So Descendant's Path is an interesting one. I'm not sure how great it would be in these. You know, because the thing is, if you hit a land, if you hit an instant, you hit a sorcery, enchantment, planeswalker, battle, you know, anything that's not a creature, it doesn't do anything. I mean, it lets you see something, and, you know, if it's not a creature, it goes to the bottom of your deck. So even if you wanted the thing that gets flipped up, then you're kind of a bit out of luck. So it's kind of best to be like, yes, you know, like if you had Princess Yue and you were scrying 2 every turn, then it's like, okay, you know, in that sense, you can always determine if what's on top is a creature or not, and then you could draw the other thing, or if you don't need the other thing, you can bottom it and then draw whatever is next. Alliance, Elitster Allies, the Duke, Rebel Sentry. He looks like he's part of, I believe, Jet's team. 1 white for an 0/1 legendary human rebel ally. Duke enters with a +1/+1 counter on him. Tap to remove a counter from the Duke. Put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature you control. It gains hexproof until end of turn. I mean, you know, just a little bit of extra there. Inspired Insurgent, saw this one there. Glider Kids, Sokka, Lateral Strategist, 1 and double hybrid white-blue for 2/4, legendary human warrior ally with vigilance. Whenever Sokka and at least one other creature attack, draw a card. Just a pretty standard fare there. South Pole Voyager, 1 and a white, 2/2, human scout ally. Whenever this creature or another ally you control ETBs, you gain a life. If it's the second time this ability has resolved this turn, you draw a card. Okay, get a couple of creatures in there to gain a little bit of life, but more importantly, draw an extra card there. That's always good. Kyoshi Warriors, 3 and a white, 3/3, human warrior ally. When this ETBs, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. Okay. Another Suki, probably we'll see a lot of those in there. Mechanical Glider, Acrobatic Leap, Razor Rings, 1 and a white, instant, deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. You gain life equal to the excess damage dealt this way. Okay. Jet, Rebel Leader. I think we got a different version of Jet. Because I think we got a hybrid red-white one. Jet Rebel Leader is a 3 and a white for a 3/4 legendary human rebel ally. When it attacks, top 5 cards of your library, you may put a creature with mana value 3 or less from among them on the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in random order. Okay, get a little bit of extra small creatures there. Fancy Footwork we saw, Thriving Heave, Plains, and then the Upside Down Air Temple. Okay. Kind of, we've got in repeats in the Tectonic Split and this Suki, but we haven't, I know that there's a lot of different versions of these, so we haven't gotten another one here. If we got another Toph, I'm not going to be upset. Librarian, okay. I know that the Owl is pretty powerful in the normal one there, but are they going to be in this one as well? Professor Zai, Anthropologist, double hybrid blue-red for a 0/3 legendary human advisor ally. Tap to discard card, draw a card. 1 and tap, sacrifice Professor Zai, return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand, activate only during your turn. There, in the library with all the sand there, with the Owl Librarian, kind of just being through, trying to figure out everything there. Looter, bit sad with all of that there. Suspicious Bookcase, 2 for a 0/4 artifact creature wall with Defender. 3 and tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. I guess, because you're so curious about it. Knowledge Seeker again, we saw that one. A Knowledge Seeker and a Dutiful Knowledge Seeker. So the difference is it's an extra mana, gains an extra toughness. Creature Fox Spirit loses vigilance whenever 1 or more cards are put into a library from anywhere. You put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, and this is when you draw your second card. And 3 mana, put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. Not too bad. It's a little bit of graveyard hate because you're getting rid of some of those stuff there and also making this bigger. Giant Koi we've seen. Brainstorm is always a good one there. There we are, Wan Shi Tong, the All-Knowing. Another mythic for us, very nice. 3 and double blue for a 4/4 legendary bird spirit with flying. When Wan Shi Tong enters, target non-land permanence owner puts it into their library second from the top or on the bottom. Whenever 1 or more cards are put into a library from anywhere, you create 2 1/1 colorless spirit creature tokens with this token can't block or be blocked by non-spirit creatures. Okay, so it only happens when they ETB that it gets put in there. So unless you're flickering this to be able to have that continuously go, removing stuff from the battlefield, it only happens once. It helps that, when things go into the deck, Brainstorm puts stuff back into the library, and then this, the Dutiful Knowledge Seeker also does that as well. It has some synergy there. It's interesting, Knowledge Seeker gets bigger. This creates some more 1/1s that can swing in there. It's interesting. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as the one in the normal decks, but it is a mythic. It's hard to get in these, and I'll certainly take it. Octopus form, we saw this one there. Accumulate wisdom, 1 and a blue for an instant lesson. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Put each of those cards into your hand instead if there are 3 or more lesson cards in your graveyard. Okay. That's, I mean, again, you know, you get a few lesson cards in your graveyard there, and you're just drawing 3 cards for 2. I mean, pretty good, pretty good. Lost in the Spirit World we saw, Waterbending Lesson, Zuko's Exile, 5 colorless for an instant lesson, exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment its controller creates a clue token there. Kind of flavorful there. Zuko's Exile, you exile something, and then they create a clue to find the avatar. And then a Thriving Isle, islands there. So, nice. You know, we got another mythic among these here. It's pretty good. I mean, if we can get more of those there, like I said, they're usually harder to find. And generally the ones that, you know, have more value to them are the ones that only have like a singular thing that they show up in. Because this is Freedom Fighters, and you can see it's a jet. So the thing about it is we can probably guess that we're going to get a jet in here. So it might be a second one of it, but so jet in and of itself might not be terribly like expensive, might not have a lot of value to it because he might show up in a lot of these. You know, it might be very similar to one of the ones that we got before. I don't think that we... Which Freedom Fighters did we have previously? Oh, no, it wasn't Freedom Fighters. It was this Alliance one with Sokka. There, that's what it was. The Duke, Rebel Sentry, Zhong's Deserters there. These were the Fire Nation. This was the Fire Nation guy that helped out, and the White Lotus there. 1 and a white, 1/2, Human Rebel Ally. When it ETBs, put a +1/+1 on target creature. Inspired Insurgent. Toucan Puffin. I like me some Toucan Puffins. 2 and a white, 2/2, bird with flying. When this creature ETBs, target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Okay. Pipsqueak, Rebel Strong Arm. So maybe we'll get more of these guys here because we didn't get this one in the Alliance ones. 2 and a white, 4/4, Legendary Human Rebel Ally. Pipsqueak can't attack alone unless he has a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay. You know, just big guy that has condition in order to attack or block. Wandering Musicians, we saw this one before. Here's the Jet Rebel Leader that we had seen previously. I mean, it's right there. Rabaroo Troop, Acrobatic Leap, Path to Redemption, Valorous Stand, there when Zuko confronts his father there. His father shoots lightning at him, and Zuko redirects it and could have defeated his father right there with it. 1 and a white, instant, choose 1. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn, or destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. I'm pretty sure that Ozai does have toughness 4 or greater, so it makes sense. Hook Swords. I feel like I've seen someone else have these swords as well that Jet has. I just can't quite remember. I feel like it was in a fighting game, maybe Mortal Kombat or something there. I'm having difficulty remembering who had these swords. 2 and a hybrid red-white. Artifact equipment, equips are 3. When this ETBs, you create a 1/1 white ally creature token and attach this to it. During your turn, equipped the creature gets +1/+1 and first strike. Makes sense. Thriving Heath, Plains, and the upside down air temple there. Alrighty. So far, I mean, definitely the Kyoshi one is the coolest one that we had got. Wan Shi Tong, I mean, it's another mythic, but I think that the coolest one that we had so far was the Hey Bye one, just because it's like, yeah, you know, it's white, and then it has hybrid white-black and hybrid green-white in it. Bounty Hunter, we're going to get June. Ah, man. I think her name is June. But we haven't seen her show up yet. Callous Inspector, we saw this one in our sets there. Pretending Pox Bears, another hybrid white-black. And it is June. June Bounty Hunter. 1 and a black, 2/2, legendary human mercenary. June can't be blocked as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn. 1 and sack another creature, create a clue token, activate only during your turn. Okay, not super amazing there, but, we'll take as many as we can get. Nyla, Shearshoe Sleuth, that is her mount that she's on there. 4/5 legendary mole beast. When Nyla ETBs, exile up to 1 target creature card from a graveyard. If you do, you lose X life and create X clue tokens, where X is the card's mana value. At the beginning of your end step, if you control no clues, return target card exiled with Nyla to its owner's hand. That's very interesting there. Potentially getting a whole bunch of clues that you could sack for something else. You don't necessarily have to sacrifice them to their, mana effects there to draw the cards. You could sacrifice them for something else there. And when you don't have any clues anymore, you can bring whatever you exile back. That's interesting. Pirate Peddlers. I don't remember this episode with pirates at all. It's just, I have no idea. 2 and a black, 2/2 human pirate, death touch. Whenever you sack another permanent, put a +1/+1 on this creature there. Goes well with, all of this stuff here. Fire Navy Trebuchet. Creates the boulder that's attacking as well if you attack with something else. Sacks at the end of the turn. Azula on the hunt there. More Azula. This one is just pure black. We have a black-blue Azula. We have, the Grixis Azula. 3 and a black, 4/3, legendary human noble, firebending 2. Whenever Azula attacks, you lose a life and you create a clue token there. Okay. Zhao, Ruthless Admiral. See, again, we're getting hybrid black-white, and now we've got hybrid black-red there. We saw this one already, though. Sold out, 3 and a black, instant exile target creature. If it was dealt damage this turn, create a clue token. Bastion of Remembrance, a good little one there. From probably one of the best episodes there. This one's it was the Tales of Ba Sing Se, I think it was, and this one was the Tale of Iroh, where he sings Leaves on the Vine and lights the incense for his son that had passed there, and at the very end there was a remembrance for the actor that played him because he passed prior to the series ending. I'm fairly certain. Brave Soldier Boy comes marching home. Very, very emotional episode. 2 and a black enchantment. When it ETBs, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. It's a very good enchantment there. Oh, and we've got a second rare in here, Obsessive Pursuit. 1 and a black enchantment. When this ETBs, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and create a clue token. Whenever you attack, put X +1/+1 counters on target attacking creature, where X is the number of permanents you sack this turn. If X is 3 or greater, that creature gains lifelink until end of turn. So if you've sacked a lot of stuff there, you can try to gain a bunch of that life back that you've lost. Okay. Deadly Precision with Mai again there. Thriving Moor. Swamp with the Banyan Tree. And it looks like this might be it says swamp, but it looks like a Fire Nation, factory kind of deal there. Okay. Interesting. Doubling up on the rares in that one as well. All right. Keep on going, saying what else we might be able to find in these. Come on. There we go. Wise. Oh, Iroh. All right. Wise. Draw lots of cards. I like drawing lots of cards. Otter Penguin. Very, very cute there. We had our Sledding Otter Penguin as well. 1 and a blue, 2/1, Otter Bird. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, this creature gets +1/+2 until the end of turn and can't be blocked. Knowledge Seeker, get another one of those. Sokka, Lateral Strategist, we saw that one. Ratty Snowballers. Tiger Seal. Tiger Seal is 1 blue for a 3/3 cat seal with vigilance. At the beginning of your upkeep, tap this creature. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, untap this creature. I mean, if you're drawing lots of cards, it's a 3/3 for 1 mana. You know, could be good. Messenger Hawk. Here we go with more hybrid mana. 2 and hybrid blue-black for a 1/2 Bird Scout with flying. When it ETBs, you create a clue token. This creature gets +2/+0 as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn. Okay. Turtle Seals, more cuties. 3 and a blue for a 2/4 Turtle Seal. I mean, yeah, makes sense. With Vigilance. Consider 1 blue for an instant, surveil 1, and then draw a card. Okay, yep. Ah, yes, one of the best cards in this set, just in terms of, you know, because of what it is. It'll quench ya. 1 and a blue, instant lesson, counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. You know, it's nothing special. It's, you know, a mana leak type effect there. However, it'll quench ya. Drink cactus juice. Nothing's quenchier. It's the quenchiest. It's so good. Sokka's Haiku. We had talked about this one previously as well. Very flavorful card there, where the whole thing is a haiku itself. Counter target spell, draw a card, then mill 3 cards, untap target land. Perfect. Sokka was great at doing those off the cuff there, and we're doubling up on rares this time with the Blue Spirit there. You know, we'll take another one of them there, just in case. Whirlwind Technique, 4 and double blue. Instant lesson, target player draws 2, then discards a card. Airbend up to 2 target creatures. Okay, so you could replay them if you wanted to, if they've got a ETB trigger for you. And then Thriving Isle and the Island and a bunch of other islands there. It didn't give a whole lot of ways to draw extra cards. It's like this created a clue token. I guess, you know, if you've got Sokka out there and you're attacking with 2 things, then you can draw a card. This doesn't draw a card. This just creates a clue token. So it's like some of them create. This one lets you draw a card there. This one lets you draw a card. Something that ETBs. I don't think that there's anything that... I guess this one ETBs and you get to draw something. But, I mean, that's one thing. Whenever non-token creature you control enters during combat, you can draw one as well. Okay, so I mean, there's that as well. So there was a few ways there. I thought that there might be a little bit more when it said draw lots of cards. But it was just like, draw cards sometimes. We've gotten a lot of blue here. Relentless, we just saw this. Azula as well, so it looks like we're going to get another one. Maybe we will get another one of those mole beasts. Purple Pentapus, we saw this one in the last one there. Merchant of Many Hats, 1 and a black, 2/2, human peasant ally. 2 and a black, return this card from your graveyard to your hand there. So, you know, if you're in limited, it's good to be able to keep on getting it. You continuously have a blocker if you need it. Ruthless Waterbender, a black Waterbender, okay. 1 and a black, 1/3, human soldier ally, waterbend 2. This creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn, activate only during your turn. Okay. Pirate Peddlers, Fire Nation Ambushers, I think we saw that one there. Azula on the Hunt. Fire Nation Occupation, we saw this one in our regular video there. You get a Firebending Soldier when it ETBs, and anytime you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, you also get another one there. So if you've got a way to play Flash, then you could get them there. Buzzard Wasp Colony, 3 and a black, 2/2 bird insect flying. When this ETBs, you may sack an artifact or creature. If you do, draw a card. Whenever another creature you control dies, if it had counters on it, put its counters on this creature. Okay. You know, a bit of that scavenging, which makes sense there. Oh, that's not a rare. Canyon Crawler, I have not seen this thing. That thing looks horrifying, especially with how large it is. 4 double black, 6/6 Spider Beast with Death Touch. When it ETBs, create a food token, and you can Swamp Cycle with 2. That's honestly very scary. I've not seen that before. Sold Out, Azula Always Lies, Heartless Act, poor Appa. Poor Appa. 1 and a black, instant, choose 1. Destroy target creature with no counters on it, or remove up to 3 counters from target creature. Thriving Moor, Swamp, and more swamps there. Okay. Nothing amazing there. Like, we had a couple of new common and uncommons there, but nothing that we haven't already seen before in the best slots there, but it was a new Jumpstart pack, essentially. Nightmares. Uh-oh. Bring your graveyard to life. They're going to tell me, you know, one of us, or part of the ship, part of the crew, you know. She's one of many. I think that was the the subtitle for one of their names. Purple Pentapus, we've seen that one. Pretending Pox Bearers. Judy, one of many. That is correct. 1 and a black, 2/2, black and tap, surveil 1, create a copy that's a copy of this creature, then sacrifice an artifact or creature. Activate only as a sorcery. Hello, my name is Judy. You're embossing Say now. Everyone is safe here. Yep. Kind of creepy. Pirate Peddlers. Ko, the Face Stealer. Okay. This is a mythic from the regular set there. Oh, I was not really expecting that. Okay. I'll certainly take that. Ko, the Face Stealer, 4 and double black, 6/6. Legendary creature, Shapeshifter Spirit. When Ko ETBs, exile up to 1 other target creature. Whenever another non-token creature dies, you may exile it. Pay 1 life, choose a creature card exiled with Ko. Ko has all activated and triggered abilities of the last chosen card. It doesn't become the card, it just gets all of their abilities, which is honestly really nice there. You know, being able to use whatever abilities that you might want, and it's just a life to swap between them, and you can do that as many times as you want to each turn there. So if you've got a lot of stuff packed away, that's pretty good. That could be pretty good. I'm glad to get that. I mean, I wasn't expecting that there. Azula on the Hunt, Hey-Bye, Canyon Crawler, Zuko's Conviction, 1 black for an instant, kicker 4, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If this spell was kicked, instead put that card onto the battlefield tapped. Okay. Ruinous Waterbending. We've seen that one before. Oh, and we're doubling up on our rares here. Desperate Plea, 1 and a black. Sorcery Lesson. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sack a creature. Choose 1 or both. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If its power is less than or equal to the sacrifice creature's power, or destroy target creature. Okay. You know, seems fine there. Deadly Precision with my Thriving Moor, and a bunch of swamps. Okay. I don't think that we've gotten a mountain yet, which is very interesting. And speaking of mountains, I did look back through all of my lands, and I was just being foolish because in the collector boosters, we did get 1 of each land. I think that there's only 2 artworks for each full art land there, and we got them. Oh, Avatar Roku. Maybe, I mean, we got Avatar Kyoshi. Maybe this is another mythic there because it's another previous Avatar incarnation, maybe? Let's see. Yuyan Archers. I mean, it's our first red one, too. 1 and a red, 3/1, human archer with reach. When this ETBs, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Fire Sages, 1 and a red, 2/2, human cleric, firebending 1, 1 and double red. Put a +1/+1 on this creature. Borcupine, not the Borcupine. 2 and a red, 2/2, Boar Porcupine. When you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 on this creature. Loyal Fire Sage. So all of these Fire Sages are weaker than 1 loyal one. Very, very funny. 2 and a red for a 3/3 human cleric ally, firebending 1, pay 5, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. Fang, Roku's companion. Now, we haven't seen Roku yet, so I'm thinking we might have a double rare unless Roku is an uncommon for some reason. 3 and double red for a 4/4 legendary dragon with flying. Whenever Fang attacks, another target legendary creature you control gets +X/+O until end of turn, where X is Fang's power. If you put this on something like with Firelord Zuko, who gets firebending X where X is his power, then that could be, you know, pretty nice. Like, give Zuko 4 extra power, you get 4 extra red mana. When Fang dies, if he wasn't a spirit, return this card to the battlefield under your control. He's in a spirit in addition to his other types. Okay, interesting. So, I mean, kind of a little bit difficult to get rid of. You got to get rid of them twice. Zhong, the Deserter. There we are with a little bit of the Zhong from the White Lotus. 2 and a red, 2/3 legendary human rebel ally. Firebending 1. With how much damage he was doing, I guess that was during the Sozin's Comet, though. Firebending 1, exhaust 3, put a +1/+1 counter on Zhong. When you next cast a lesson spell this turn, copy it, and you may choose new targets. Okay, you know, that's a little interesting one. You know, a cheap little one to copy an instant. Firebending Lesson, which we had seen previously. Frantic Confrontation, we'd saw that one as well. Roku's Mastery, X and double red, instant. Roku's Mastery deals X damage to target creature. If X is 4 or greater, you scry 2. Okay. We haven't come across Roku yet, so is he actually in here? Crescent Island Temple, another shrine for us there for the other Heibai. 3 in a red, legendary enchantment shrine. When this ETBs, for each shrine you control, create a 1/1 red monk creature token with prowess. Okay, that's nice. Whenever another shrine you control ETBs, create a 1/1 red monk creature token with prowess. Yeah, I like it there. You know, we got more shrines there. Yes, okay, so he is in here. And he is a mythic. So we have Avatar Kyoshi, we have Avatar Roku. I know there's Kurik, and there's Yan Chen, I think. So maybe we'll get this. Maybe we'll get them all. Avatar Roku Firebender. 3 and triple red for a 6/6 legendary human avatar. Whenever a player attacks, add 6 red mana until end of combat. You don't lose this mana as steps end. That's kind of insane. Triple red, target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. So it doesn't have firebending itself, but it's whenever a player attacks, you get 6 red mana that you can use at any time. Until end of combat, you don't lose this mana as steps end. That's a weird way to put it. There are like phases in the steps. I think that would be a better way to say it. Like, until end of combat, you don't lose this mana as phases end there. But I mean, you could just be powering up a whole bunch of people there. I mean, hey, we got another one there. And we got a White Lotus Hideout. That's not a thriving. A land with tap to add a colorless, tap to add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast a lesson or shrine spell, and you can pay 1 and tap this to add 1 mana of any color. Okay. Interesting. And we've got a Thriving Bluff. Okay, so, you know, we've got a few lessons in here, a shrine. This helps to pay for those ones there if you've got it. Thriving Bluff and the mountains there. I'm not sure which one that was. It looks like it might be Fire Nation there. But yeah, another one with double rares in it, and it had another Avatar in it. I mean, we've gotten 3 mythics from here already, and we got a surprise extra code that I didn't know could be possible. Kind of nice. I dig it. Another wise, okay, so here is our first repeat of a title. Uh-oh. Is it going to be the exact same one there? It's not the exact same one, but I mean, it's the same title. Grand, 1 blue for a 1/2 legendary human peasant ally. Whenever Grand becomes tapped, draw a card, then discard a card. Non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast as long as there are 3 or more lesson cards in your graveyard. So if you're playing lessons, all of your non-creature spells cost 1 less if you've got some stuff in there. Okay. Forecasting Fortune Teller, we saw this one. Otter Penguin, Katara, Rowdy Snowballers, Messenger Hawk. You know, some of this stuff is the same, but some is not. Like, this was not a rare in the other one. Waterbenders Restoration, because Tiger Seal was in it, and Blue Spirit was in it as well. So it's different. It just has some similar cards. Double blue for an instant lesson. As an additional cost to cast a spell, Waterbend X. Exile X target creatures you control. Return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. If you got a lot of ETB triggers, you know, this will certainly help it out, you know. I mean, if you're gonna be exiling cards themselves, you know, just if being able to tap them down with the water bending, they're gonna be gone anyway. So I mean, hey, you know, like by all means, like I could use that one there. Turtle Seals, Consider, Waterbending Lesson, Coastal Piracy, 2 and double blue enchantment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. I mean, that would go well with the Sokka one if that one was in here as well. Of like when Sokka and another thing attacks, you draw a card, and then if at least one of them deals combat damage, you draw another one there. Okay. Or one Technique again, and then the Thriving Isle and Islands. Okay, you know, like we said, it's the first repeat of a title that we've had, but it had different stuff. It was not the same pack, which is good because we ended up getting a new rare out of it there, which is basically what we're trying to do with these. And Firebending. Okay, so, I mean, this is not Roku. We could have some similar things in it, but it is going to be a different one. Fire Nation Cadets, we've seen that one there. We've seen Moku, we've seen Union Archers, we've seen Loyal Fire Sage, we've seen Zhang, we've seen Zuko Exiled Prince. Reckless Blaze, 3 and double red for a sorcery lesson. Deals 5 damage to each creature. Whenever a creature you control dealt damage this way dies this turn, you add a red. Okay, interesting. So a bit of trying to be somewhat board wipe there, and you get extra red mana if your stuff dies. So if your opponent has, you know, a bunch of like 4 or 5 toughness things, and you've got like a few like 1/1s or small tokens, and they're going to get run over anyway, get rid of all of them and get some extra mana. Okay. Rough Rhino Cavalry, 4 and a red, 5/5 Human Mercenary, Firebending 2, Exhaust 8. Put 2 +1/+1s on this against Trample until end of turn. Okay. Not super great. Fire Nation Attacks, 4 and a red. Instant, create 2 2/2 red soldier creature tokens. So it's Firebending 1 and has flashback 8 and red. Now I know Iroh, you know, gives things flashback. So I mean, if you use this one with that Iroh Grand White Lotus there, I mean, instead of having to pay that flashback, you could do that. You know, whether or not it's actually worthwhile, probably not, but it's possible. Firebending Lesson, Cunning Maneuver, 1 and a red instant. Target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn. Create a clue token. Okay. Combustion Technique, Sparky Boom Man, and Thriving Bluff and the Mountains. Okay, so not anything super super new there. We did get this Reckless Blaze, which is a new rare. And as I said before, if we can get the new rares, we can get the different types of packs. That's going to be kind of the big thing for us. Ozai, make big sacrifices. Okay. Ozai, not a good dad. I think we can all agree. Callous Inspector, Corrupt Court Official. This is the one that I was talking about. I think the Wheel of Punishment is with that Judgment of Kyoshi for, you know, against Aang. Fire Nation Ambushers, Fire Navy Trebuchet, Zhao, Ruthless Admiral, Beetle-Headed Merchants. 4 and a black, 5/4 Human Citizen. When this attacks, you may sack another creature or artifact. If you do, draw a card, put a +1/+1 on this. Okay. Okay, Firelord Ozai, another mythic. You know, we're getting our way with getting some of these mythics there. 3 and a black for a 4/4 Legendary Human Noble. Whenever this attacks, you may sack another creature. If you do, add an amount of red mana. equal to the sacrificed creature's power until end of combat. You don't lose this mana as steps end. For 6 mana, you can exile the top card of each opponent's library. Until end of turn, you may play one of those cards without paying its mana cost. Okay. So, you know, it's a sync to put it in there. You know, if you've got a lot of red mana from the firebending there, I can see it being effective there if you've got a lot of, you know, the only problem is, you know, you sacrifice something, you get mana equal to their power there, so, but you're probably not going to be wanting to do that with your giant creatures to get this ability for free, but you're probably going to want to be doing it for, you know, like 2 or 3 mana, so 2 or 3 power so that, you know, you can get that there. I mean, even at 1, you'd still have to pay 5, but it's something that you can do in it. However, it goes really well with Avatar Roku as well. Whenever a player attacks, you can use that there. And the big thing is, whenever a player attacks, you get 6 red. Well, you can put that 6 into here. You exile the top card of each player's library on your turns, because you can play those until end of turn there. You can, you know, play a permanent like a creature or enchantment or even a sorcery. But with this, you know, if you did it on an opponent's turn, you'd have to do something with, you know, instant speed there. But still, I think really, really cool, really interesting, you know, something to potentially consider. And it's another mythic, so awesome. Canyon Crawler, Heartless Act, poor Appa. Ozai's Cruelty, 2 and a black, Sorcery Lesson. I hate that it's considered a lesson. Ozai's Cruelty deals 2 damage to target player. That player discards 2 cards. Scarring Memories, 3 and a black. Sorcery Lesson. You may cast this spell as though it had flash if you control an attacking legendary creature, like this. Target opponent sacks a creature of their choice, discards a card, and loses 3 life. Deadly Precision with Maya again, Thriving Moor, and a bunch of swamps. Yeah. Continuously shown Ozai not a good father there. I will say that over and over again. But I don't know, like, again, like, I don't know if these will show up in any other ones or if they only had one that they were in. We've got Earth Kingdom again, which we did have previously. So could this be a repeat there? Because we have had Haru Hidden Talent, we've had Toph the Blind Bandit, had Walltop Sentries, and Suki. But we did not have Great Divide Guide, so something is new here. 1 and a green, 2/3, Human Scout Ally. Each lane and ally you control has tap, add 1 mana of any color. Okay, so this is like a, almost like a better Chromatic Lantern on a creature there. Because it costs 1 less, though it is 1 color that you have to spend a certain color. It's a creature, so it's a bit easier to get rid of than an artifact. But it's each land and each ally you control. So each ally, including the self, because it is an ally, becomes essentially a, you know, a Llanowar elf for any color. That's kind of insane. Like, put this in an ally deck and you're just continuously getting more and more mana. I mean, of course, you know, when you play a new ally, unless you've got haste on them, they can't tap for mana. But still, it's like, I mean, that's a lot of mana ramp there. I dig that one. I'd like to get more of those. Earth Kingdom General. This was the guy that Kiyoshi fought, I'm pretty sure. Or it might not be. Like, it could just be a regular Earth Kingdom General. 3 and a green, 2/2, Human Soldier Ally. So if it's an ally, it probably isn't the one Kiyoshi fought, but he looks kind of similar. When this creature ETBs, Earthbend 2, whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature, you may gain that much life. Do this only once each turn. Interesting. So, again, you know, I could see this going into that Tidus deck there because, you know, gaining a bunch of life because you're just putting a bunch of +1/+1 counters on a creature there. I mean, if it didn't say once each turn, I mean, that would be insane. Earth Kingdom Soldier, Hippo Cows, Mechanical Glider, Origin of Metal Bending. We didn't see this one yet. That was a good moment there where Toph was hitting the iron of her cage there and just discovered metal bending. That's why she's the best. 1 and a green, instant lesson, choose one, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains indestructible until end of turn. And another Descendants Path, so we ended up getting double rares. We already got it there, but I said I could use another one of those there, so that's nice. Allies at Last and Thriving Grove with a bunch of Boris. Hey, I mean, it's another double pack. Even though it was another Earth Kingdom one there, we did get at least one new rare there. And it was a double rare pack, so, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. We're now in the last third, and we've gotten out around, like, 2 for each one there. 2 mythics in each third, so maybe we'll get 2 more mythics. Now, the big thing is, it's another Freedom Fighters. We've already seen this, so maybe it'll be the same one. The Duke, Zhang's Deserters, Inspired Insurgent, Toucan Puffin, Pipsqueak, Meandering Musicians, Jet, Rebel Leader, Rabaroo Troop, Acrobatic Leap, Path to Redemption, Valorous Stand, Hook Swords, and then Thriving Heath with all the planes. Okay, so that is our first repeat there with a little bit of Jet showing up again. But it was the exact same pack that we had gotten earlier. So, you know, that is our first, like, complete miss there. So it'll happen. Learning, we haven't seen this one here at all. So, you know, be getting maybe some new things in here as well. Take a lesson on earthbending. Maybe there's learning in other ones as well. Platypus Bear. Not my cabbages. There he is again. 1 and a hybrid green-blue for a 2/3 Platypus Bear. I mean, yeah. I'm surprised that they made Platypus a type. Defender, when this ETBs, mill 2 cards. As long as there is a lesson card in your graveyard, this can attack as though it didn't have Defender. Okay. Sparring Dummy, so that's where that's from there. This is where Toph is teaching him earthbending and has the Melon Lord at the top and is like, you must destroy him. 1 and a green for a 1/3 artifact creature Scarecrow with Defender. New Scarecrow. Mill a card. You may put a land card milled this way into your hand. You gain 2 life if a lesson card is milled this way. Okay, so you can gain life. Ideally, have land cards milled out this way so that you can put it in your hand. Walltop Sentries. Aang, a lot to learn. Uncle Iroh. Again, like, I just think it's so cool, because look at this. It's 3 different hybrids. Green, blue, green, white, green, red. I mean, all we need is just, like, green, black. I'm not sure if that's going to be in here. I would have imagined, like, Sparring Dummy could have been, like, green, black, almost. But it's just, like, it... I personally think that it should be viable in Commander to, you know, put hybrid mana in for something. Uncle Iroh, 1 and double hybrid red-green for a 4/2 legendary human noble ally. Firebending 1. Lesson spells you cast cost 1 less to cast there. That's interesting. If you have Iroh, Grand White Lotus, and this Uncle Iroh, the Grand White Lotus one gives everything, all of your lessons in their graveyard flashback 1. I wonder if this would make them 0 because it makes them 1 less to cast. That's an interesting to think of. Sabertooth Moose Lion. Interesting. 4 and double green for a 7/7 Elk Cat with Reach and 4 cycling 2. And that's it. Okay. Master's Guidance. I think that we saw this one in our normal packs there. We all got it because, I mean, we could still get those. 2 and a green enchantment. Whenever you attack with 2 or more legendary creatures, put a +1/+1 on each of up to 2 target attacking creatures. At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Yep, we did see this one here. I mean, we didn't get this pack. It's a repeat of a rare, but, I mean, We haven't got it before. The Art of Tea. We did see this one before as well. Good old Uncle Iroh. True Ancestry. One in a blue, one in a green. Sorcery Lesson. Return up to one target permanent from your graveyard to your hand and create a clue token there. I mean, with the Iroh there, make it 1. That's not too shabby. The Rocky Rebuke. We saw that one there is nice. Cracked Earth Technique. Double Earthbend 3. Zuko's Exile. Thriving Grove. And a bunch of forests. Okay. So, a couple of new commons and uncommons, but in our collector booster, we did get that one already. Still technically a new pack, though, so still hoping to maybe get some more mythics there. Earthbending, this is a new type of pack for us, though this is Rocky Rebuke on the front, so weaponize your lands. It would be Earthbending. It would be so good if this had the really expensive Toph in it. It would be so good if that was the case. Rebellious Captives, we've seen that one. Frog Squirrels, 1 in a green, 2/2 Frog Squirrel. Makes sense with reach. Earth Kingdom Soldier, Toph the Blind Bandit, Earthbending Lesson, Earth Kingdom General. Tale of Katara and Toph. Okay, we did see this one in the previous one. In the collector booster there, 2 and a green. Enchantment creatures you control have whenever this creature becomes tapped for the first time during each of your turns, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. You know, you can put this in here into something where you're water bending there, or even when you're attacking, because they become tapped while they're attacking there. So, you know, a couple of different things there. Something that I didn't think of, I think last time, is if you have an earth bent land, when you tap it for mana, it also puts a +1/+1 counter on it. So, I mean, good for an earthbend deck there. So, I mean, I might be interested in having, you know, this second copy there. Badger Mole, Explore, Rocky Rebuke, Solid Ground. I don't think I've seen this one yet. 3 and a green enchantment. When this ETBs Earthbend 3, if 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a permanent you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. Okay, so, I mean, it just helps with earthbending there and, you know, it's on any permanent there. So, I mean, it can help out with that there. And Rumble Arena. Okay, so unfortunately, no Toph in that one. But a new land here, Vigilance. When an ETB, scry 1, tap for a colorless, 1 and tap, add 1 mana of any color. Okay, Thriving Grove, a bunch of forests there. So, new type of pack. A rare that we had already gotten, and unfortunately, no Toph there. So, I'm not sure which one Toph might be in, but I'm going to keep saying it. It'd be great if I got another Toph. Soaring, okay. I mean, we saw that one there. This probably is going to be a little bit of Flying Tribal. Flying Dolphin Fish, 1 in a blue, 1/3 Whale Fish with flying. Okay, makes sense, makes sense. Benevolent River Spirit, double blue for a 4/5 spirit. Has an additional cost to cast a spell. You got a Waterbend 5. And Flying Ward 2, when this ETBs, scry 2. Okay, so, I mean, you gotta do a whole lot of extra stuff. Benevolent River Spirit, I remember Katara dressing up like it for a bit. Messenger Hawk again. Sako Lateral Strategist again. You know, like hybrid blue-black, hybrid blue-white. Tio Spirited Glider, which we saw previously. A Cat Owl. When it's feeling bored, it chases itself. Oh, that's funny. 3 and a hybrid white-blue for a 3/3 Catbird with flying. Whenever this creature attacks, untap target artifact or creature. And Yue the Moon Spirit. Normal packs there, but one that we didn't get before. 3 and a blue, 3/3 legendary spirit ally. Flying Vigilance, Waterbend 5, tap. You may cast a non-creature spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. I mean, you can tap down some of your creatures there to help pay for it, so you're not using up all of your lands there. But I mean, if it's a non-creature spell that costs a whole lot, I mean, like, that could be pretty good. Giant Koi, Waterbreak Graphs, Octopus Form, more Boomerang basics, that's good. Frantic Search, Thriving Isle, and Islands there. Okay, so, you know, new pack, and it had a card that we didn't have from the original one, just kind of like the Face Stealer. I mean, I'll certainly take it. You know, it's new stuff. Gliding, are we going to get Momo? Because here's... Oh, this one's having trouble opening up. Because this looks like more Flying Tribal to me. Zhong's Deserters, Inspired Insurgent, Glider Kids, Water Tribe Captain, 2 and a white, 3/3, Human Soldier Ally. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn by paying 5. Momo, Friendly Flyer. Okay. So we got this one in the in our collector boosters, but we got the alternate art version that had all the sketches of Momo there. But this one is just the regular artwork. So, I mean, it's fine to get that one there, you know, get the different artworks. We'll certainly take that. Air Nomad Student, 3 and a white, 2/2 Human Monk with flying at the beginning of your end step. If this creature didn't attack this turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay. Aang the Last Airbender, don't have this one yet. 3 and a white, 3/2 Legendary Human Avatar Ally with flying. When it ETBs, airbend up to one other target non-land permanent. Okay, whenever you cast a lesson spell, Aang gains lifelink until end of turn. Okay. Appa, Loyal Sky Bison, we got that one previously as well. Yep. 1 white for an instant lesson. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's an ally, it also gains flying until end of turn. Okay. Better throw an extra yip. We gotta move. Path to Redemption. The Tale of Momo. I mean, we got Tale of Katara and Toph. Now we got Tale of Momo. I wonder what other tales we might have. 2 and a white, sorcery. The spell costs 2 less to cast if a creature left the battlefield under your control this turn. So potentially 1 white. Search a library and or graveyard for an ally creature card. Reveal it and put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. I mean, you get to choose what you do. You get to either find something from... You get to either find an ally from your deck or pick your best one from your graveyard. That's nice. That's insanely good. Glider Staff, 2 and a white. Equipment, when it ETBs, you airbend up to 1 target creature, gets +1/+1 and flying, equip 2. Okay. Thriving Heath and a bunch of planes there. Okay. But another double rare. Okay, we're coming down to our last few packs, and we did not get a mythic yet in any of this third, so maybe we just had them heavy up on the other side. Adept, have not gotten this one yet, but that's a waterbending lesson card there, so we have gotten that one before. Professor Zay, got that one. Master Paku, who joined the White Lotus there, 1 and a blue. 1/3 Legendary Human Advisor Ally. Prowess, whenever Master Paku becomes tapped, target player mills X cards where X is the number of lessons in your graveyard. Okay. Katara Bending Prodigy. Iguana Parrot on the Pirates. 2 and a blue, 2/2 Lizard Bird Pirate. Nice. Flying Vigilance and Prowess. Tio Spirited Glider. Geyser Leaper. I don't know if we've seen this one. 4 and a blue, 4/3 Human Warrior Ally Flying Waterbend 4. Draw a card, then discard a card. Nightmares and Daydreams. I remember this weird one here where, you know, like, they had the Momo and the Appa as, like, samurai there. When it ETBs, and then on the first and second upkeep afterwards until your next turn, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, target player mills cards equals to its mana value. That's whenever you cast it. Okay, I mean, if you do that there, that can be for 3 turns. And then on the last turn, and it sacrifices itself and draw a card. If a graveyard has 20 more cards in it, draw 3 cards instead. I mean, likely going to, so I mean, like that. Serpent of the Past, we've seen that one there. Getting another one just in case I ever want to make a Pauper deck and I want to have some of those in there. That'll be nice. Octopus Form, Consider, Waterbending Lesson, Lost Days, and then Thriving Isle and the Islands. Okay, you know, Nightmares and Daydreams is an interesting one to get there. All right, penultimate pack. Second to last one there. see if we can get anything cool in it. No Cabbage Merchant, not yet at least. Warriors. Cabbage Merchant is green, so it's not going to be in here. But Warriors, Kyoshi, Warrior Guard, 1 and a white for a 2/3 Human Warrior Ally. Evasion Reinforcements, Kyoshi Battle Fan, Toucan Puffin, Sokka Lateral Strategist, Kyoshi Warriors. Suki, Kyoshi Captain. Okay, so we've had a different Suki here. This one here, the Courageous Rescuer, but we haven't had a Kyoshi Captain yet. 2 and a white, 3/3, Legendary Human Warrior Ally. Other warriors you control get +1/+1. And 3 and a white, attacking warriors you control gain double strike until end of turn. Okay, you know, kind of pretty standard affair. Go wide board, get a bunch of warriors out there. Makes sense. Rabaru Troop, Path to Redemption, Sokka Sword Training. Yeah, Master Piendu, like, praising him, like, ah, man, you're so good. And Sokka's just, like, fighting for his life. He's just like, trying not to die. 1 and a white, instant lesson. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and create a clue token. Valorous Stand, Team Avatar. 2 and a white for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. So you basically give something exalted based off of the number of creatures that you control. 2 and a white, discard this card. It deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature. So you can either play it out, attack alone with something there to give something big exalted. You know, being able to discard it and deal a bunch of damage to one thing is also nice in kind of a limited environment. Thriving Heath and a bunch of planes. Alrighty. And we're going to move on to our final pack. Is it going to be a big finale? Is it going to be something that we've already gotten? It's another firebending, so, I mean, it's possible that we get another thing that we've already received. Let's see. Fire Nation Cadets, familiar. Fire Sages, familiar. Loyal Fire Sage, familiar. Jong, familiar. Firebending Ascension, not. This is new. Now, it is in the regular one there, so unfortunately it's not like a specific to these, but, you know, it's still a new card, so we'll take it. 1 in a red, enchantment. When this ETBs, you create a 2/2 red soldier creature token with Firebending 1. Whenever a creature you control attacking causes a triggered ability of that creature to attack, put a quest counter on this enchantment. Then if it has 4 or more quest counters on it, you may copy that ability. You may choose new targets for that copy. So when you attack in with anything with firebending, you put a quest counter on this, and if it's got 4 or more, you get double firebending triggers. Okay, yeah, I can dig that. I can dig that. I mean, you do this with this Zuko, and you get 6 mana, and you can do that. Okay, yep. Dragon Moose, Firebending Lesson, Roku's Mastery, Cunning Maneuver, Reckless Blaze, so we get a double up on that, and another version of Lightning Strike that we didn't get in previous ones, and a Thriving Bluff and some Mountains. So we end on a double red pack with an interesting card from the normal decks there, and a duplicate on one we've received there. So I'm not sure what the rate is of getting mythics there, but we did get an extra, like, Ko the Face Stealer, and we did get 4 new ones from this here. Unfortunately, no white one, but I mean, we got 5 mythics from this. I think that I'm going to be pretty happy with that there, especially since, you know, maybe these mythics aren't terribly easy to get. I'll have to see which of these rares might be difficult to get as well. That might have, you know, if I were to try to purchase them separately, if they would be costing anything there, because, you know, at that point there, it's worth it to get it in these Jumpstarts because they're not terribly expensive. But thank you for joining me on this one here. I mean, Jumpstart's a little bit different and weird, but, you know, thank you for joining me anyway. I wish you luck with whatever you are up to. I hope you'll come back for another one. Please have a wonderful evening, night, or afternoon. Till you come back, please take care of yourself. I'll see you next time.